Hey, welcome to Happy Tales of Happy Tales, the podcast where you'll hear stories of the way pubs have touched our hearts and our lives. So for the next few minutes, let everything else go and just listen and smile. I'm your host, Julie Jackson. Today I was going to share with you one of the crazy things that our floofs have done. We have this pair of 2-year-old twin husky shepherd wolf mixes named Chuck and Barney. I walk in our bedroom the other night and it was kind of dusk, so there was a little bit of light, but not really. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, okay, wait, what is that in our bed? And I start walking over and I'm like, okay, this is really weird. I see these things, these lumps in our bed. And I go over and realize it's sweet potatoes. Not one sweet potato, not two sweet potatoes, an entire bag of sweet potatoes. They had somehow gotten them from the kitchen counter, carried them into our bedroom, opened the bag in our bed, and had started chewing on the sweet potatoes in the bed. I guess they got bored, not a fan of sweet potatoes, I can't imagine. But anyway, they moved on to bigger and better things and left a bag of chewed sweet potatoes in the bed. So that was last night. Then this morning, I'm getting ready to go to work. And so I work in scrubs. And I always put my phone in my scrub pocket. And Chuck is notorious for busting through the fence in the backyard to visit the neighbor dogs. We have a beautiful border collie on one side, and she's precious. And I think that Chuck has a crush on her because he often busts into their yard. But on the other side, we have a couple of guys that are, one I think is a heeler mix and one is a doodle of some sort. And I think it's the doodle is named Charlie. And Chuck and Charlie just go at it through the fence. They're constantly, and I mean, like Chuck slams up against the fence. I'll have to save a whole episode sometime just to tell you the story of all the things Chuck has done to the fence. But anyway, he gets going against that fence, and I can hear it going on. It's loud, and so I run out to try to stop him. And I need to leave for work. I'm running late for work. I'm trying to get them crated, and then I hear the commotion, and I know what's happening. And Chuck and Barney are strong. They're lean. They're not super heavy, but they're pretty big dogs, and they kind of look like wolves. If people see them and don't know them and know what derps they are, then sometimes I think they find them intimidating. So I run out there, and I'm trying to stop Chuck and get him in the house, and he will have none of it. So the only thing I can do is grab him by the tail, and so then imagine like a cartoon where someone is skiing, like he's a sled dog and he's dragging me around. And so I'm holding on to his tail with both hands and I'm pulling back. I'm just falling back as much as I can, trying to get him into the house. And he's pulling me and he pulls me over forward and my phone falls out of my pocket. And so in all the mayhem, I grab the phone. I have one of those things on the back that has a loop on it where I can loop my finger through it and just hold on to the phone that way so I don't have to grip it. So I just scoop it up and I loop it around my finger. And finally, I manage to get Chuck back in the house. I close the door. I get everybody crated. I am now running late for work. And my daughter is still in bed. She's in college. And so I always go up to her room and tell her goodbye before I leave. So I'm heading up to her room after all of this chaos. And I look down at my phone. And I was just about to actually use my phone and fortunately looked at it before I did. And smushed to the face of the phone is a piece of poop. So when the phone fell out of my pocket in the yard, it fell face down on a piece of poop. And when I scooped the phone up, didn't even notice the poop was still stuck to the phone. So I'm like, well, that's just great. And so I go into the bathroom, I take care of that. I clean up the phone face. I go tell my daughter goodbye and scoop up all my stuff, get in the car, and start heading to work. And so as I have a 45-minute commute, and traffic sometimes is pretty nasty. And so I'm just kind of reflecting on the chaos of the morning as I'm driving in. And I'm thinking, wow, at least, thank goodness, when I scooped that phone up, I didn't just drop it back in my scrub pocket like I usually do. At least I just scooped it up by that ring and had it hanging off my finger and saw the poop on the phone before I pushed it up against my face or put it in my pocket. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, did I? I don't know. And so while I'm on the freeway, I look down in my pocket. No, I had, in fact, dropped my phone in my scrubs pocket. So when I got to work, I had to go into the bathroom and remove the poop from my pocket and clean up my scrubs before I could commence with my day. So if you are listening to this and you have not in the last 24 hours had sweet potatoes in your bed or poop in your pocket, then consider yourself lucky. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know that you are busy, and I really appreciate that you chose to spend some of your time with me. So let's do a little bit of bookkeeping before we head out. If you enjoy this and you would like to receive the episodes automatically without having to seek them out, then in your podcatcher, follow or subscribe. And that way, every time an episode drops, it'll show up for you and you'll know that it's there. Makes it super easy. You don't have to think about it. Please go visit the website. It's really cute. It's got puppy pictures. Also, I've got a free gift for you over there if you will go check it out. And if you would like to message me, if you have any suggestions, specific pup stories you want to hear, or even better, if you want to share a story, you can message me right there from the website. That's the best way to get to me for that. Check us out on all the different socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of them. That's where you'll see pictures of the pups that we talk about each week. Also just other fun pup things. I'm going to put episodes on YouTube as well. Sometimes the episodes are recorded via Zoom, and so there's video. A lot of times it's just us talking, but every now and then there are some fun cameos from puppies, or there's shenanigans in the background, and you can catch all that on YouTube. If you want to help me out, if you would leave a positive review and share the podcast, that would be fantastic. I would be really grateful. And once again, if you want to help me out, I would love to share your story. So please hit me up and let's schedule a time that we can talk. Some people have shared their stories in writing. Some people have gotten on the phone and done a chat with me. So we can do whatever you are most comfortable with. Finally, do not forget that you are as great as your dog thinks you are, and go smooch your pooch. Thanks, y'all.